that, of course, is a story for another day, and I'll see you, and we'll talk about that down the road. Alright, wrestling fans, you got the show here. Bill Schuyler coming at you with the WWE NXT review. First and foremost, it's time to clear your mind. Get rid of all that hard times you had on the job today or what you had to put up with throughout. So let's empty that away. Let's kick off those shoes, those work boots. Take off that tie. Get yourself comfortable. Take a chance that if you're one of those fancy guys, open up that bottle and let her breathe. If you're a working man, pop that cold one right then and there and get ready, because we're going to talk about wrestling from down in Full Sail University, Orlando, Florida. You know you've reached the NXT time of the week, and we got a lot going on this show and leading up to the Beast in the East event this weekend. Let's get right down to it, wrestling fans. We have an opener with the Vaudevillains have returned, and they are actually looking pretty good. Again, tag team, in my opinion, as I've always seemed to say, that I think they are going to remain here in NXT. I do not see them ever getting called up to that main roster, at least with the gimmick that they are involved with here, and they do it so well. I just can't see it going over with the fans on the main roster. But, you know, greater minds than mine make those decisions. They went up against the Mechanics, which is a great new tag team that I got my eye on. I'm expecting big things. We're talking about Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson. They're comparing these guys to a younger version of the Andersons. That is Arn Anderson, and maybe not so much an Ole, but two Arn Andersons, if you will. They got the look, the same type of moves in the ring, and perhaps Arn has taken them in under his wing in training. But either way, these two guys I see a big future for here in NXT. I think they could go over and put in quite a feud with the current tag team champions, that being Team Bam. But I digress with this here. This was one heck of a match. The Mechanics, again, looking quite like the Wrecking Crew back in the day from the NWA. They took out a hellacious beating upon the Vaudevillains, but the Vaudevillains, remaining ever more experienced than their opponents tonight, were able to get the win via the Whirling Dervish, and your winners, the Vaudevillains. We then had something I don't understand, and that is that we have Baron Corbin, who has proved his mettle in the last Super Show. He's proved it all along by squashing and destroying regular men on the roster. Yet today they deemed to bring in a guy from outside of the NXT promotion, a local guy by the name of Tucker Knight. And Tucker Knight got tucked in real quick as the end of days took him in and out, down under 30 seconds, as the MO of Baron Corbin goes when he's facing talent of this caliber. It is time for this man to step up and start fighting bigger fish in this pond, or take him up and put him in the main roster with the big fish and see how he handles it. I personally think they should work him out with a tag team partner, another big man, where they could just dominate and take control of the titles here at NXT. So again, we had that squash match. We then had a women's match, Carmella going up against Emma with Dana Brooke at her side. Carmella is looking better and improving each and every week, but Evil Emma would come through with the win, beating Carmella down via submission, having her tap out. Emma is looking better and better each and every week, and I do not think it will be long that she will have earned her way back to the main roster and paid her dues for the transgressions that she had got involved in some time ago. We then had a situation with Enzo and Big Cass arguing with the Vaudevillains backstage in William Regal's office. Regal basically telling them that next week the four of them will be in a match, and the winners of that will be the #1 contender in the tag team division. I think this is finally Enzo and Big Cass's opportunity to strike out and take out Blake and Murphy for the titles. It's been a long time coming, but I think the boys are ready. Then we also had another vignette with William Regal as Bull Dempsey is attacking a vending machine due to the fact that he was unable to get out the item that he had put his money in for. He says it was something healthy, but as we have seen, he does not seem to be on the right and proper road when it comes to his training and getting himself in shape per Regal's request. We then jump into the third and final segment of Finn Balor's story, which has been quite captivating so far, very interesting, and it's things like this that are making NXT stand out from the main roster and from other organizations, and it's a great build up to his match in Tokyo this Saturday. This took place talking about his finishing his time in Japan, working his way into NXT. Just a great little piece showing how much of a desire he has to be a superstar here in the WWE. Again, we had pictures of Machine Gun Carl Anderson with him, which is something we're going to talk about a little bit. We also had Big Matt Bloom talking a lot about his initial meetings with Finn when he was Prince Devitt in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And it was a nice, excellent little ending to this trilogy. Again, building up and enhancing his character for the fight against the NXT champion Kevin Owens this Saturday, live from Tokyo. That's right, live from Tokyo, 05:30. That's 5:30 a.m. in the Eastern Time. Get yourself up early if you want to watch it and not miss a thing. And when it's live, it's live. You watch things later, they could be tampered with, changed, but when it's live, we're live, brother, and there's nothing that they can do to alter it. other than a delay system they may have an effect. But if it was something big, you want to be there live. I know I will be up bright and early watching NXT's live from Tokyo, the Beast in the East, and we'll go over what news we have on that card very shortly. We then had our Ty Dillinger going up against Prince Pretty Tyler Breeze. This was not a big thing. Quick and easy. Tyler Breeze going over Ty Dillinger like there was any doubt. And this led up to the main event. And being NXT is on Wednesday nights and is part of the Wrestling Wednesday nights that are going on with NXT, Ring of Honor, and Impact Wrestling on Destination America for 3 hours from 8 until 11. Lucha Underground also being on Wednesday nights. It's all coming down to great storytelling and booking. And I will have to say, and I don't go into this too often because Andre_Corbeil on Twitter is our Impact Wrestling correspondent and handles these things. But I would have to say that Impact Wrestling put on one of the greatest shows in the business that I have seen from that particular company in well over a year, and one of the best in the business, period. Ring of Honor looking outstanding. It was their last evening with the people associated with the War of the Worlds, New Japan promotion from their pay-per-view with Ring of Honor. So they've been really great shows because you're having the great masters from Japan mixing it up with the Ring of Honor stars. And now this upcoming week we will be back to it being strictly Ring of Honor. I digress from that and talk about the year-long booking for Impact Wrestling's Heavyweight Championship of the World. Kurt Angle, that World Heavyweight Champion. EC3, Ethan Carter III. The tie-in here is that Carter was a former member of NXT back some years ago. He worked under and was trained by Daniel Bryan. He was involved in vignettes and humorous aspects with Gail Kim and the Bella Twins. He's not injury prone. He is a great student of the sport. And for whatever reason happened, the WWE let this kid go. And this is a kid that's got a physique and had the same physique when he was here in NXT. Chiseled out of granite. He's got tremendous, magnificent mic skills. He's able to do comedy, serious villainy, face work. He's got it all for a guy that's been in the business for a short time. They have built his character up for a year. A year of him being undefeated. Starting out being undefeated with really bad jobbers, and it was humorous stuff, but eventually he wound up going up against the bigger stars, going up against guys like Sting, guys like Bully Ray, guys like Kurt Angle, and other major superstars from the Impact Wrestling roster, and would not be pinned nor cause to submit in any of those matches. Undefeated. They had a pay-per-view on Sunday night, Slammiversary. In my opinion, a very troublesome, weekly booked pay-per-view. Something that seemed to have been maybe sitting on the shelf from a year and a half ago, when things were not going so well for the company, as they were caught in between creative issues. It was disappointing, other than 3 matches. And some of those matches are also going to have a possible effect here at NXT. So this is all tied in, if you're wondering why I'm talking about Impact Wrestling. The champion was defeated by this upstart Ethan Carter III, and is the new Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. Again, defeating Kurt Angle, that company's Hall of Famer, the gold medal Olympist, that was a major superstar for 6+ years in the WWE, and has been on top here in in Impact Wrestling ever since joining the company. What I'm saying is the booking of this was phenomenal, and it's something that hasn't been seen in over 10 years, where they would build a character up, a feud up between characters, where either they've never laid hands on one another until it cultivated in a major Angle pay-per-view, or it would just last that long before one of them and the feud would be finished and the title won and the title lost. Hats off to Impact Wrestling, and applause for an outstanding booking event in that. Now that's going to fall into lines where I believe there was a error that was made here in the main event leading up to this special event in Tokyo. Something that has never been done like this live for the WWE, and with a man who has been booked perfectly since he arrived in NXT. I'm talking about Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens came in, took control, beat down everyone he went up against. He took the NXT title a month from the day that he walked in the company's doors. He went into the main roster. He went up against and beat John Cena more than once, and he is a viable contender for taking the U.S. title from John Cena, one of the greatest wrestling superstars of this era. Whether you like him or don't like him, you cannot deny the fact. Again, undefeated, running roughshod over everyone in NXT, where he had to take you up to the main roster and go after the biggest guy in the company, that being John Cena, and beating John Cena more than once. This match in our main event tonight was Finn Balor tagging with Samoa Joe, going up against the NXT champion Kevin Owens and Rhino. An outstanding match. These guys beat each other from pillar to post. They used every major hold, move, and anything they had in the repertoire was used to bring damage upon their opponent. And numerous times it looked like various individuals were going to pin others, and it didn't work out that way. Samoa Joe was not able to defeat a Samoa Joe who, for the majority of this match, was the guy carrying his tag team partner, Finn Balor. And we figured this was done, some guys and myself, that because they were saving Finn Balor for this big match against Kevin Owens, the undefeated Kevin Owens, the NXT champion, live in Tokyo, Saturday morning, 5:30 a.m. It gets to the point where Kevin Owens is hit with everything that Finn Balor has got. The Pele kick, the shotgun drop kick, and then he's taken up, sling blade, he goes up to the top rope and hits him with the coup de grace / Sunday Bloody Sunday. And Finn Balor pinned Kevin Owens in the middle of the ring. Why? Why would you have him pin Kevin Owens, undefeated Kevin Owens, in the middle of the ring in a show leading up to a monumental show on so many levels, and you have him cleanly beat Kevin Owens in the middle of the ring? Bad booking. Comparison with Impact Wrestling, who clearly outbooked NXT in that manner. The match itself was a 5-star match. These guys were outstanding. But I felt, as I am not a casual fan, the casual fans out there will be like, "Oh, this was great. It's great. You know, it's going to happen." Other more jaded fans are going to say, with Finn Balor doing that, then he's not going to beat Owens. He's not going to win the title in Tokyo. I feel Finn Balor is going to win the title. I just, for the life of me, don't understand why they would have him defeat him before that show. I can't see, of all the booking of the documentary, of everything they've done to build up Finn Balor, for him to lose in Tokyo. Strange days indeed with this NXT event. Again, a great show, ending with a fantastic event. Hey, Finn Balor is the man. He beat Kevin Owens for the first time in NXT. Something that John Cena's been unable to do, and any other superstar that's come his way. If he beats him for the title on Saturday morning, then that just builds up and makes Finn Balor even a bigger star. So I could see that aspect of it. But I thought that what they should have had was Samoa Joe going over top of Rhino, or Balor beating Rhino, with nobody beating Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens should have been going into this Tokyo match undefeated, and then be beat, and it would be that big of an event. But that's not what we got. But I'll digress on that, and now let's get into the aspects of what else I was tying in here with events that happened in Impact Wrestling. We have some wrestlers that have went, their contracts have ended, and they are not signed yet to Impact Wrestling. One being the greatest man who ever lived, Austin Aries, former Ring of Honor champion, former Impact Wrestling champion, former tag team champions for Impact Wrestling, former X Division champion. He is, I believe, 38 years old. He is not your prototypical sized superstar. He is about Daniel Bryan's height, a little bit shorter by about an inch, I think. But he is an outstanding superstar, one of the best in the world. And I would think that him coming into NXT, he would benefit that company greatly. And if they were to take him into the main roster, just great possibility of matches that we can have going on. Especially, I mean, it's a guy that could work with Daniel Bryan and not injure him. Them guys have worked series for years. There's just all kinds of great matches could go on. James Storm, the Cowboy, James Storm's contract, he asked for it to be for him to be released from his contract. No word of where he's going. He could be heading to Global Force Wrestling with Jeff Jarrett, as they are longtime friends. He also is an older guy. He is, I believe, 37. He would be a great wrestler anywhere he goes. He's never wrestled for any other company other than Impact TNA Wrestling. I don't see the WWE taking him because of that and his age. He is not injury prone. He is a guy that he could make out and do well in NXT. Helping younger wrestlers build their way up as he pushes them over and the like. I think he's going to go to Japan. That's my opinion. Doing the Ring of Honor, New Japan Wrestling, Noah. And Magnus has left Impact Wrestling and signed with Global Force. He's a guy that signed and wrestled with and came up in the business with Wade Barrett. And most of the other English superstars, Sheamus, also, all guys from that UK, Ireland, Scotland, England, are out there now of that age range. All were wrestling in the same schools together. He's a young superstar. He would be out of this world fantastic in the WWE. I could see him take NXT like that and make his way to the main roster. They would have a young 20-something-year-old superstar and give them one of their guys to take all the way for the next 15, 20 years. So the question's up in the air of where that's going to be. So there's some possibilities of guys from Impact Wrestling that could make their way to the WWE or to NXT. Now, when it coming to the Beast in the East match, it is Brock Lesnar's return to Japan for, I think the last time he was in Japan, he was the IWGP World Champion. And I don't believe he's been back there since he lost the title. There's no definite opponent for him, although I've been hearing Kofi. I can't see why, but an angle I could see was that with their Freebird rule, having the entire New Day at ringside, and as it works through that Brock would actually wind up wrestling all three of the New Day. I personally would love to see him going up against Big E, and all three. It would be very entertaining. But none of that is definite. They're not giving a definite hit on that. John Cena is supposed to be there. Chris Jericho is supposed to be wrestling Neville. That's the only definite one that I have, other than our NXT championship. And we have some New Japan Pro Wrestling stars who may be on the match but are having a tryout for the WWE. That being Tatsumi Fujinami, Shinsuke Nakamura, and the Rainmaker, Okada. Okada is the youngest of all three of these gentlemen. Okada is in his mid-20s. He is a 6'4", I believe. He's a very tall Japanese wrestler. He has all the moves. He would be outstanding if done correctly in the WWE. They don't have the best track record when it comes to Asian wrestlers. Even what we've seen happen with Hideo Itami, regardless of the injury before that, they still weren't pushing him properly. Tatsumi Fujinami is a major superstar in Japan, and Nakamura is a god throughout the world. He is a huge fan base here in the U.S., especially as this War of the Worlds event had went on with Ring of Honor. Nakamura was there, Fujinami was there, Okada was there. I personally would not want to see any of these guys go to the WWE. I would love them to stay in New Japan, because in New Japan they are wrestling the way they need to wrestle, and they can continue and definitely do what they do best, and that's strong style. As far as Nakamura, Fujinami is just outstanding in so many ways, and Okada has such a big future in front of him. With that, that is really everything I got for you in my NXT report. I apologize for the delay. I had a little injury to my back and my knee, so I didn't get this out as soon as I had wanted to. What I got to say is this. This card from Tokyo, tomorrow morning, Saturday, 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm expecting big things from this. I think this is going to be as monumental and as great as they're pushing it for, something that's going to make a big change in the network, as they're already speaking now of doing similar international matches from the UK, other ones from Japan, and matches from different areas of Europe, and being able to put them on the network only, some being NXT involved, others being their own superstars for the main roster, going up against guys that they normally would never have the opportunity to wrestle, where it's not going to just be the main roster from the WWE wrestling other wrestlers from the WWE in a foreign country. That kind of defeats the purpose. Those countries and those fans, they want to see some of their homegrown talent get a chance that they've never had to go up against the superstars of the WWE. And as this tryouts here with the Japanese talents from New Japan, Again, we give opportunities for wrestlers from these other countries for tryout matches to get into the WWE. With that, I am the show. You can reach me on Twitter at YouGotTheShow. I'll get back to you, hit you up with whatever questions you want to ask me. I tweet back and forth with everybody. You show me respect, I show you respect. You don't show me respect, I block you. Sorry about that, but that's what happens. One Wrestling is the place to be. Bill Apter at Apter1. Follow him on YouTube at the Apter Chat. He is an icon in the pro wrestling business. If you don't know who Bill Apter is, easily Google the man. If you're too young to have grown up on the wrestling magazines that we had when I was a child, then you may not know him, but you'll recognize him when you see him from various things around the network and from being around ringside, taking pictures and the like. Great guy, fountain of information. The Can-Am Wrestling Show, back online this week. Big Ray's show, Andre _ Corbeil, my partner at Hustle and Show Goes Old School, Billy Ray Valentine. He and I will be getting the band back together, if you will, and we're going to start putting things out. We had a special guest that we wanted to be our kickoff guest, and we're having problems in cementing a date for that, so we're not going to wait any longer, and we are going to put a show out, and then we're going to start popping those out every week, doing what we can to make you, the fans, happy, and we'll talk all about that when we book that show, and then you can get back with us and let us know what you want to hear about, what you want to talk about. Other than that, got nothing more to do except to tell you, don't miss this Tokyo show. This is going to be unbelievable, something that is a first. Don't miss out on that. And by God, if you don't have the network, you're not going to be able to see this. I don't work for the WWE, but I got to tell fans that want to see product like this, $9.99 a month, which gives you the pay-per-views and the entire catalog, it's worth the $10. I had a guy, speaking of that, who tweeted me wanting to know where he could buy WCW DVDs. The guy from Australia. And I don't know if they have that down in Australia yet. And he was looking into it, but he told me, he goes, he's like, I didn't know you couldn't get them. I said, no, that's WWE. They own all that. They only are releasing those in special 3 DVD sets for various, events, war games, and the like. I said, you get the network. I said, every single WCW pay-per-view since Starrcade 1983, all the way up to the end, all the Nitro shows, eventually Thunder, plus the entire catalog for the WWE, and ECW are all there at your fingers. You could check them out anytime you want, for as long as you want. So there's a guy there that had no idea what other benefit the network had other than getting the pay-per-views each month for the $10. So I helped enlighten the guy, and he can check out NWA, WCW from back in the day. I did a good deed. I'll expect my check in the mail. Yeah, that's not happening. All right, folks, like I said, with that, it's been a long week for me. I'm done. I'm out. I will see you guys down the road. I'll be heading down Tokyo Road, and I have to start looking to get into bed early if I want to catch this thing, because it's 5:30 a.m. Know what I mean? I'll see you guys down the road.